of his comings and goings, we can confirm Miss Long's testimony and place the time of the crime at approximately 5:30.
I did. Oh, okay.
But in that case, Holmes, the man that Miss Long saw is none other than...
That's right, Watson. It was the Whitechapel killer.
To think that Miss Long and Kadosh were only a few feet away from him.
Indeed, Watson. Had Miss Long passed just a little closer to the victim and her assassin, or had the young Kadosh popped his head over the fence out of curiosity, the killer would most certainly already be behind bars.
That's some stroke of luck he had there.
I couldn't agree more, Watson. But his luck didn't end there, given the mutilations inflicted upon this poor woman. What must be considered above all is the killer's obvious wish to remove one and only one specific organ. His surgery pinpointed the exact spot, avoiding superfluous incisions. This suggests the man possesses at least a minimal anatomical knowledge.
Are you suggesting a doctor or a butcher?
Perhaps, but the possibilities are still too broad to conclude with any certainty. Now for the motive. Despite my almost complete lack of practical experience on the subject, I have a rather precise idea of the usefulness of a uterus and a vagina. Nonetheless, once they are separated from their usual envelope, I am more circumspect as to the uses one can make of them. What do you think, Watson?
It's funny you said vagina.
Need a board, Watson.
Yeah, Watson, get a board. God. Where's his board? Oh, here we go. Watson's cute little board. It's so cute. Okay. It would have been easy to remove something from Polly Nichols. Black magic again. Trophy?
A desire for some sort of morbid trophy.
I'd be inclined to dismiss this motive. If this were the case, why would nothing have been removed from the Bucks Row victim?
That is true. To supply to a... money?
Money, quite simply.
Even if this motive seems incongruous, we're in no position to deny or affirm it until we know whether a market for human organs exists.
That is true. That is true. Now I know how to do these. Students have an easy access to a number of specimens.
Perhaps it was intended as a study specimen.
I have little faith in that theory. Hardly anything was taken from the Bucks Row victim.
Man, Watson's board is nothing. No indication would suggest any type of ritual.
Black magic?
Watson, this line of investigation is far too vague. We don't have a single clue in support of such a motive. We can eliminate this hypothesis.
I love that. Black magic? No, it's bullshit. The magic can push a man to violence.
Holmes, what if it was cannibalism?
Even if the idea is unbearable, we can't ignore it as a possibility.
So we have that one. I'm put black matter. They don't know of one, so nah. I'm gonna get rid of black magic too. Trophy. Let's see. Okay, so maybe cannibalism isn't the right one. I keep going to cannibalism. Trophy. Okay, so he said possibly. So, let me see if...
What are we doing, Holmes?
You need a board, Watson.
I'm seeing if there was anything that I could deduct from things. So, never mind. Okay.
Perhaps it was intended as a study specimen.
I have little faith in that theory. Hardly anything was taken from the Bucks Row victim.
That's true.
Black magic?
Watson, this line of investigation is far too vague. We don't have a single clue in support of such a motive. We can eliminate this hypothesis.
Okay, so it's not black magic. See...
Holmes, what if it was cannibalism?
Even if the idea is unbearable, we can't ignore it as a possibility.
So that's a plus.
A desire for some sort of morbid trophy.
I'd be inclined to dismiss this motive. If this were the case, why would nothing have been removed from the Bucks Row victim?
Money, quite simply.
Even if this motive seems incongruous, we're in no position to deny or affirm it until we know whether a market for human organs exists.
Well, can't deny.
Elementary.
Yeah, it was those two.
What emerges from these possible motives for having removed the uterus from the second victim is that they implied that the killer could have carried out the same thing on the Bucks Row victim, yet didn't. This brings us to a terrible conclusion. Our killer has evolved in the space of only a few days, and if that's the case, had he already struck before the first murder to which we attribute him? And if the killer strikes again, what atrocity awaits his next victim?
We have to stop him, Holmes.
We shall do our best. This recent business of jars filled with formalin and of the American doctor might be a lead. Watson, inquire among medical circles to ascertain if there is a black market for human organs. The chances are slim, but this must be pursued.
Very well. What about you, Holmes?
I will send word to Inspector Aberline regarding our recent conclusions. I should also like to become a gas man and pay a visit to Bluto at the Wasp's Nest.
Oh shit, here we go.
Understood, Holmes. I think one of my old university colleagues who works at the London hospital will be able to help me. I shall write him a note at once. He should be able to see me during the day. Afterwards, shall we meet here?
Yes, Watson. See you later, and good luck.
You as well, Holmes, as a gas boy.
I must get to the London hospital, where my old university colleague works.
Wait. Okay. We control Dr. Watson.
To the London hospital, quick.
Quickly! No time to haste.
My
Post-haste.
colleague agreed to meet me here in one of the London hospital rooms reserved for students.
Uh-oh. Holy shit.
John, you're there already. Punctual as always. Tell me, you don't seem to be in good shape. Is it possible that your recent marriage is making you this morose?
Was he talking to
you
him over
know me
Skype?
well, Andrew.
What the fuck?
No, it's a strange and terrible affair that concerns me. Have you read my note?
Yes, I admit that I was surprised. It just so happens that I, too, was asking questions about our morgue.
Organ trafficking?
What do you think? Have you heard of any organ trafficking within?
No, John.
Damn it.
No doubt there exists
so close.
some exchange between colleagues. Not quite legal, of course, but nothing that can qualify as trafficking. Since the Anatomy Act of 1832, which permitted the use of unclaimed corpses for science, the black market trade was definitely halted. There are sufficient subjects available for all practitioners and students. Of this I can confirm.
Well, organ trafficking as a lucrative trade is out of the question. Then what is troubling you with the morgue?
You are talking about trafficking organs, but I suspect there is trade in whole bodies.
What about the missing bodies?
What do you mean to say? Whole bodies are disappearing?
Well, it's confidential, but I know of your discretion and your friendship with the famous Sherlock Holmes. I can tell you that a few corpses have recently disappeared from the hospital morgue. Cadavers that were intended for dissection. That is to say, not claimed, poor, unknown people. If a single corpse had disappeared, it might have been a bad joke. There are many students who pass through here. It's even a meeting spot. For the majority, they are here to work. A few come here in secret to practice. It also happens that instruments or organs go missing. Nothing alarming, but so many corpses. It's very troubling.
Did you see Taylor? What will you do?
But the hospital doctors aren't doing anything?
No. That is to say, they would prefer not to call the police at this point. An investigation would no doubt result in the suspension of authorizations for the use of unclaimed corpses. Do you think that you could intercede on our behalf with Sherlock Holmes to clear up this situation?
Oh, jeez, now they're using Sherlock Holmes as a fucking branch.
Which corpses are missing?
I don't know exactly, but I can make an exact list if you would like to wait here for a few minutes. Feel free to look around the room while you wait. It'll bring back memories.
Thank you, Andrew.
Okay, the entire time he was talking, I was waiting for us to be able to look around to see what the fuck is this? That's horrifying. Is that a small man or is that babies? Well, Watson sure was a weird guy, but
It's here that students come to carry out their experiments.
I mean, this is a baby in a bottle, man.